you can hear. Click to download today.
Good afternoon, everybody. You can see he did come out ahead on that high tunnel out there. He's got it leveled out, and now he's putting in our tomatoes. We got some fresh compost to put in with our tomato plants. We'll probably be planting some other things here very shortly. You can see here that my tower of power is doing fantastic. Let's take a closer look. Oh my goodness. All kinds of goodies in there for teas and medicinal purposes. Things are looking fantastic. Can't wait to start harvesting some of this, guys, and making us some homemade teas just in time for fall, which is sooner than you thought. And now let's talk about what we're seeing for our 2021 winter 2022. Well, guys, saw yesterday on the long-term forecast that we are going into another La Nina pattern. Last year, it started around the 1st of September and ended in March. This year, they say it's going to hit in November and last until the end of January, 1st of February. What does that mean for us here in Texas? It means that we're going to have a repeat. We're going to have a repeat of last year's winter storm. And my suspicions are that it's going to happen in January in 2022 instead of February. So this is what I discovered yesterday, or saw yesterday. Started doing a little bit more research. You can go back and look at some of my videos where I said a La Nina pattern is indicative of us getting some snow and ice and colder weather here in Texas. Told my husband I think it's going to hit toward the end of January, and then this morning, lo and behold, I saw that the Old Farmer's Almanac predicted the storm that came through Texas in February of this year, and they are predicting the very same to hit us sometime in January in 2022. What does that mean for us? Let's talk more. So what you just saw from the beginning of my video is we are a little further ahead of the game on our tomatoes and some planting in that front high tunnel. He's still working on the back one, but he's really been putting all his effort in getting that front one cleaned out and trying to get control of the diseases and trying to get control of the insects. And so now the tomatoes are going in and lots of other things are going in. My seed starters are coming up great. I will do another video on that and show you our progress on that. But let's talk about the winter time come January 2022. So they're saying that we're going to have a repeat. I believe we're going to have a repeat. And so what do we need to do, guys, to prepare here in Texas? Well, we know what happened last year. We know what happened with the power grid. They say that they think that they have that fixed, but I'm not confident that they do. In fact, so Greg and I have already started our firewood accumulation, our propane accumulation, and we're going to be working and making sure that that generator is ready to go. Our pool back here that we've had for many years, we will go ahead and keep it full again in case we need the water. But if you remember from some of my videos, and if you don't, go back and check, that pool froze over 6 inches on the top, solid. There's ways we can get around that if we need the water. But we did not have any hiccups in the electricity last year, but it doesn't mean that we won't this year. There are many, many things to consider. I know a lot of you in the next month are going to be planting your garlic and your onions. Make sure you have a way to mulch around them or cover them, because that helped ours survive. We put a whole comforter out there over them, and they survived that blast of cold that lasted over a week of below freezing temperatures, which was extreme freezing below temperatures here in Texas. Other things that survived in our raised beds out there were our kale and our lettuces. They did get nipped, but you know what? They survived. Our kale, our lettuces, our cabbages, our carrots, all of those did just fine in that extreme cold weather in the outside, but some of our trees didn't. We lost several of our trees. We lost our pomegranate tree. Our pear tree was pruned back very heavily, and it came back and it started budding, but then we got hit with all the rain, and so that took out the buds on that. We do have some apple trees that are starting to come to fruition now. Those survived. We lost half of one of our tallow trees. It's starting to come back, and you might can see that right there. So as you're planting and as you're planning your fall garden, you want to take all of this into consideration. Your cabbages, your lettuces, your spinaches, your kales, your radishes, your carrots. Make sure you have them where you can keep them protected in the event that these predictions are going to happen. What do you need to do for your household? You need to make sure you have plenty of water. My family did. My daughter, my grandson, and my son-in-law had to come out last year, and we went through 3 to 5 cases of water in the blink of an eye, guys. So you want to make sure you have plenty of water on hand in case you lose your water. We did not, again, lose electricity, but we did lose our water. And so make sure you have all of that. Another thing is a generator. I know, guys, that right now it is hurricane season and generators are probably on up there in pricing. You can take a risk and wait till around November, December, when maybe the prices go down, to go ahead and get you one, or you may want to go ahead and get you one now. We have a dual fuel generator. It runs off propane and it runs off gasoline. And so we're going to make sure that we have plenty of propane and gasoline. What about firewood? Firewood is a necessity if you have fireplaces or if you have a wood burning stove or even a grill. You can light up the grill on your back porch or in a ventilated area to do your cooking and possibly warm up next to. But we have a wood burning stove here on the back porch, and what we do around our whole back porch in the wintertime is we hang up tarps, and so we can come out here and get warm around this wood burning stove or cook if we need to. So you're going to want to start getting some firewood. Why do you want to do that now? Because firewood's cheap right now, very much so. And we're in the heat of summer, so go ahead and start getting your firewood on hand. Again, your propane and gasoline, and get all your fuels. You also want to get alternative ways of cooking, maybe a camping stove that runs off the little propane tanks, maybe some sternos. You want to make sure you have a light source. We have lots of light sources. I did a video back toward the end of the winter last year explaining all of our light sources. Hand warmers. You know what? I bought a whole case of hand warmers as we started to warm up here in our weather, because when my daughter and my son-in-law and my grandson got here, we gave them some hand warmers, and they said it worked terrifically for their hands, for their feet, and just to warm their body. Right now, guys, I guarantee you that's much cheaper than what it's going to be as we start to get colder, and there's probably going to be shortages. So go ahead and start getting your hand warmers. Get you some life straws, get you a water filtration kit. Oh my gosh, I can go on and on and on about how to prepare for what they expect is going to happen to us here in Texas this winter. Your pipes and your hot water heater bladders. So we still have the conventional hot water heater here that is kind of inside the house, kind of outside. It is insulated, but I know my daughter had 2 of the bladder type hot water heaters, and they were in her garage. Insulate them now as best as you can, because as soon as they got home and turned on their water, their hot water heater bladders burst and flooded their garage. Thank goodness it was in their garage. Insulate your pipes. We live in a manufactured home. Up underneath, you want to make sure you insulate your pipes and make sure that they're going to withstand a quite possible another week of sub-zero or sub-freezing temperatures. Can it up, guys. Many of my followers and my subscribers are gardeners. Can it up. Can it up so that you have liquid, and it is just a strictly reheat meal. You're not going to have to worry about adding any water or anything else that's going to make your food edible. So can up everything that you have from your garden, or freeze up and make sure you have a water source. Antifreeze in your vehicles, guys. Make sure that you have antifreeze in your vehicles and get your radiator flushed if needed. and make sure that if you have to go out and spend a night in your car, your truck, or your vehicle, that you are ready and prepared. My daughter did have to spend the night in their vehicle back during that deep freeze to keep my grandson warm and keep themselves warm. You want to make sure that your car or your truck or your vehicle is operational. Another thing, cash. So if you followed me last year, you know, or at the beginning of this year actually, you know that my daughter and them went to get something to eat at McDonald's, and because of all the power outages and the situation, it was cash only. You want cash. Keep cash on hand at all times. Another thing we have in our pantry, guys, and I have a whole case of that I bought at the end of this last winter, are body wipes. Already pre-moistened body wipes. You want to get those in case you're unable to take a shower or take a bath. You want these pre-moistened body wipes so you guys can stay clean and stay close. Prescription meds. Make sure you have your meds in case you're not able to get them for a week or so. I am on 2 blood pressure medications, and so I make sure always to be a couple of weeks ahead, so that if I can't get to the pharmacy, or if they're shut down for some reason, I have my meds that I need to keep my blood pressure stable, or insulin, whatever it is that you guys take or you need. You want to make sure you have that. Food. Diversify your pantry. Make sure that you have already ready to eat foods. We have canned meats back there. I know if you've been watching me, you've seen that we have canned meats. We also have freeze-dried meats. We have food in the freezer. Again, that's where the generator is going to come into play. But I'll tell you what, we start losing electricity, that meat's going to go out on the grill, and we're going to be cooking up a storm and trying to preserve what we can and feed our families. So you want to make sure you have ready to eat foods. Ready to eat. That means without water, and something you can heat up either on a sterno, a camping stove, or a wood burning stove, or your fireplace. Let's go over this again. Generator, hand warmers, firewood for your fireplace, camping stove. All these things you need to make sure that you have access to. Body wipes. Oh my goodness, guys. Your prescription meds. You're ready to eat food. Get serious about it, because this La Nina that's coming in is going to present us another challenge. Is it going to just present a challenge to us personally? No, it's not. So what happened last year? I'm in procurement. My profession is procurement. And I'm going to tell you that what presented during that winter storm back in February is we had shortages across the board, price increases across the board. Get nuts on hand, get high protein foods. Make sure that your pantry is well stocked with easy to eat, easy to heat foods. Never let your gas tanks in your vehicles go below half a tank, because you may need them. You may need them again to get warm. You may need them to siphon some gas out for your generator. Make sure your tanks are at least half full. Never go below half full. Another thing we invested in is electric blankets. We invested in some electric blankets because if we can use electric blankets instead of our conventional heating system to plug in to reduce the electricity, that's what we'll do. So I bought 2 king size electric blankets that we can plug in to try to conserve energy on our conventional heating system if needed. Don't forget your pets, food and water for your pets. So we have 2 5-gallon feeders or waterers for our animals. Make sure that you have plenty of food and water for your animals. You know, our dogs are our family, and we love them, and we want to make sure that they have everything they need. So you better get your pet food, and you better get some water on hand just for them. Now, we do keep about 200 gallons of water on hand for such a time as may be coming, and you want to do the same thing. And I'll tell you, we have 2 large dogs and a small dog, and our 2 large dogs will go through 10 gallons of water within just a couple of days. And when you have that dry, cold air, they're going to go through more, even more sometimes than the heat. So make sure you have plenty of water and plenty of food for your animals. So even in the middle of that winter storm last year when the sun was out, our high tunnel got up to 80 and 90 degrees. But you still, if you're growing in a high tunnel or a greenhouse, you want to make sure you have alternative heat. We are backed up on that. We got 15 containers of propane that we are continuing to fill per payday to make sure that we have what we need to either heat the high tunnel or heat up underneath the house. We do have one of those forced heaters that will blow up under the house to keep the pipes from bursting. We won't run that continuously. We will run that intermittently to make sure that the pipes are not going to burst, but you want to make sure you have alternative heat, alternative light, alternative cooking, and alternative water. Paper goods. So when my daughter and them had to come out last year during that winter storm, we used paper plates, plastic forks and spoons and knife, and we had napkins. Make sure you have plenty of paper goods. Make sure you have paper towels. Make sure you have toilet paper, and we all know how that went. But make sure you also have alternative eating utensils to make sure that if you don't have any water, you're not going to be wasting anything on doing the dishes. Insulated workwear. Who knows where we're going to be, guys, in December and January. So Greg had insulated coveralls that I bought him for Christmas last year. And he had a toboggan, that's what we call them, toboggans, which is one of the knit caps, and had gloves, and he had insulated socks and his boots. Make sure you have some insulated wear, some insulated coveralls or bib overalls. Make sure you have clothing that will withstand some of the extreme temperatures that we may get. So he wore his coveralls for several days, and he was out in the high tunnel working when it was like 3 degrees or negative 3 degrees, and he felt just fine, and he was able to get things done outside that we needed to get done, and to keep the generator going, and to keep the garden okay, and to keep the high tunnels okay. Those insulated coveralls, or he had overall bibs, which, man, they just really protected him against the extreme wind and the extreme cold. I don't know where we'll be with the world situation as far as illness is going on come January, but you want to also keep stocked up on your Lysol wipes, or we use the Arm & Hammer wipes because they're much cheaper and they're just as good. So be sure and make sure you have plenty of antibacterial, antiviral wipes on hand in case you have a bunch of people in your house. You also want to make sure you have some of the N95 face mask. You know, they're saying, I'm hearing different things, that the cloth masks don't work and the little blue surgical masks don't work. So I do have some N95 masks that I do buy and I keep on hand here in case we have a house full and you want to do the same. Antibacterial hand sanitizer, antibacterial wipes. Make sure you have everything you need to try to keep your family as safe as possible. Cold medicines, Tylenol, ibuprofen, any pain relievers. Guys, make sure you have what you need. NyQuil, Mucinex. Get all of these things now before flu and cold season rolls around and before our weather changes and everything is sold out and it warrants the need for these things. So my goodness, I know that I've given you lots of information to digest and try to write down and figure out what it is that you guys may need, but we're very serious. We're very serious about this upcoming winter and what it may present to us, and you should be too. And all the things that I've told you to prepare for will last even through maybe spring storms or hurricane situations or thunderstorms or any other kind of catastrophe or world event or weather-related event. These are all things you just really need to be prepared for, not just the winter time. You need to start now. So I wanted to reach out to all of you and tell you where we're going and what we're preparing for and how maybe you can better prepare, because I just really want you guys to be ready especially here in Texas. We're not ready for stuff like this. Even though we've had winter storms throughout the years, we're not ready for anything that's sustained for a week or so. So get ready, guys. Take this information. Take it and make you a list and start just adding now. We're in August. We're 4 months away from when they are predicting this may happen. So you got time. You got time to start to prepare, and you have time to take advantage right now of the summer months and the warmer months to get things cheaper than what they're going to be come November, December, and the 1st of January. Take it to heart, guys, and start preparing. So as always, I love each and every one of you, and we appreciate all of you that have subscribed to our channel and that follow us and that comment. So leave some comments below and let me know if you have heard this, how you're preparing, what you're preparing with, what others can prepare with. Let's help out our little community on how we need to get ready for a possible winter storm like we had in February 2021. Take care. God bless. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We will be in touch throughout the weekend and show you what's going on here. Again, thank you. Talk to you soon.